everyone, me again. If you're new around here, my name's Alice and I upload videos about affordable beauty and fashion. So as you can see by the title, today I'm doing a Colourpop haul. So I mentioned in my video with my custom eyeshadow palette that I wanted to do another Colourpop order and order a few more eyeshadows to put in my palette. And I know a lot of you really wanted to see what I wanted to pick up, so I'm going to show you that today. I've got my little box right here. I really didn't do the biggest haul in the world. I'm making a really conscious effort to not order too much stuff with my makeup hauls. Like, don't get me wrong, I still love shopping. It's one of my favourite hobbies. I wouldn't say I'm on a no buy, but maybe I'm on a bit of a low buy, or just trying to think through my purchases a bit more and be a bit less impulsive. But either way, I've still got a really nice selection of things to show you here today. So this was the main thing that I wanted to order. I've got one of their small palettes here and I've filled it up with single eyeshadows. Now, I didn't want to order an entire palette of eyeshadows. I actually only wanted these colours here, so I only wanted half of them. But when you buy them individually, they're $4.50 or $5 each, right? But when you get it in a little palette like this is $24. So you get this little palette and you get 12 shades for $24. So if you want to buy more than like 4 or 5 colours, it usually works out at better value to just get a little palette. So that's what I did. As you can see, the colours in here are quite dark, they're quite autumnal. They're just a few things that I really felt like were missing from my custom eyeshadow palette. If you go back and watch that video, you'll see a lot of the shades are quite pale. There's quite a lot of muted tones in there, so I wanted a few things that are a bit darker and just a little bit more colourful as well, just to mix in with the colours I already have. I also have another separate eyeshadow as well, which I'll show you after. So the first one I got is called Thank You Next. I wanted to get it partly because of the name and partly because I just really love the colour. I've been really searching for more burgundy tones to add to my palette, especially at this time of year. I've just been wanting to have some warmer, some darker tones in my palette to play around with, and I thought this one looked really nice. It's a really beautiful kind of duochrome colour, so it sometimes looks like the colour in the pan, like this kind of cool toned burgundy shade, but also when it hits the light it's got a bit of a gold sparkle to it as well. It's a really interesting colour, really nice for this time of year. Also, my neighbours just started playing music. It's really loud, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that my microphone doesn't pick up too much of it and that I don't get a copyright strike on this video. Pray for me. But the formula feels really interesting. It's quite wet to the touch. It's not opaque when you first swipe it, but it is the second time you go over it. And yeah, I really like this one. I think I'm going to wear this a lot. I've also got this shade right here called Charge It. This is a rosy matte colour. Now this one looks a little bit different to how it looked on the Colourpop website. So online it looked like a bit more of like a duskier pink kind of shade. You know, I'm all about the dusky pink shades, especially the matte ones. This one is actually a little bit more red than it looked on the website. Like, it's a nice colour, but it's really not what I had in mind when I placed my order. I still quite like it and I still think I'm going to wear it. I'm just not going to use it in the way that I thought I was going to. I'm probably going to have to mix this with other much more like cool tone shades to get the look that I had in mind. The next one is Material Girl. This is a sparkly golden brown colour. I thought this would be really nice to use either as an eyeliner, because I usually use like a darker powder as my eyeliner instead of a gel eyeliner or a felt tip or anything like that. So I thought this would be really nice for that, or also just to like smoke out my looks a little bit as well. Especially at this time of year, my looks can sometimes go a little bit darker, a little bit more smoky. It looks really nice. It looks like a really good staple shade to have in a custom eyeshadow palette. I also wanted to get this one for the same purpose, so either as an eyeliner or to smoke out the looks. This one is called FACET. I hope I'm saying that right. It's a matte shade and it's a little bit like a chocolatey brown but with a dash of purple in it. It's a really beautiful colour. I've got a little bit on as an eyeliner today, but honestly I've used so little of it, I don't even know if you're going to be able to see it, but just take my word for it. It's really beautiful and I do quite like it. I feel like this is another one that I'm going to get a lot of use out of. I've also got a shimmery shade called Liar Liar. This is a lighter shade that's going to be really beautiful as like an inner corner highlight, or even all over the lid on more neutral days. Performance of this one is really good as well. It feels really pigmented, and again it's just another really basic staple shade that I think a lot of custom eyeshadow palettes would really benefit from. I know that I'm going to wear this all the time. I'm obsessed with pink eyeshadow. I'm wearing pink eyeshadow right now. And I also got another really basic shade as well. This is called Bel Air and it's a matte shade. It's a really basic neutral brown colour. It was described as a cool tone brown on the website. It doesn't really really swatched that well, so I don't really know how it's going to perform on the eye, but the shade looks really versatile. And then there's two purples, which are actually incredibly similar, so when I was filming the swatches, I swatched them both next to each other because I think most people probably won't need both of them. And if I'm honest, I'm not entirely sure why I got both of them. They're both mattes. The first one is called Going Steady. This one is a little bit lighter and it's got a little bit more of a red tone to it. And then the other one is a little bit more cool toned and a little bit darker, and this one is called Sleeper. I don't think the average person needs both of these shades. I don't think I need both of these shades, but it's one of those things when you're buying on Colourpop, it's hard to kind of know exactly what the shades look like in person. And even though I was looking at a lot of swatches on the internet, I don't think I realised just how similar these shades were. So I don't need both of them, but I do think they're both really, really pretty. And then this shade here is a lot warmer than the shades I normally use, but it just looked really nice on the website. This is called 20 something. It's a very sparkly, very metallic, warm gold colour with a bit of an orange hue going through it. I think this is going to be really, really nice at this time of year, especially as we're getting closer to Christmas. I think this is a really lovely Christmas kind of colour. And then I've got the shade Anthem, which is another really nice colour for this time of year as well. This is another really wet feeling metallic kind of colour. So this is a warm-ish red toned colour, but it's a little bit more warm toned than Thank You Next. Thank You Next is a little bit more of like a bluey burgundy colour. It's a little bit more like a Fallen Leaves, like that kind of colour. Really, really beautiful. Another really basic shade, this is called Ringer. So I've been wanting to build up this palette for a while, but every single time I do, there's always at least one colour that I want that's out of stock. This is one of those colours that's almost always out of stock on Colourpop. I'm actually quite impressed that I managed to get it. But I can definitely see why it's so popular. It's just a beautiful champagne gold shade. It's one of those shades that just works on everyone, day or night, whatever your skin tone, it just works on everyone. It's really, really nice. And then this was a shade that I wasn't really too sure about, but the other one that I really wanted, which was called Tickled, was out of stock at the time, so I ended up ordering this. This is Glass Bull, and this is another duochrome shade. I don't really wear a lot of duochrome eyeshadow, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, but this one just looked so, so beautiful on all the swatches that I saw online. I don't think a camera really can capture it because it's just so unique. Like, it's got a really nice red base to it, but when it hits the light you can see more of a blue or a teal colour. It's so, so interesting. I also really wanted like a sparkly kind of olive green sort of shade, but those are so hard to find in a single eyeshadow. I have no idea why. I couldn't find any on the build your own palette bit of the Colourpop website, but I did find this. This is one of the collabs that they did with Kathleen Lights. It's one of their Zodiac single shadows. You can't get these in the build your own palette bundle because they have their own like fancy little packaging and they cost a tiny bit more, but still I'm really, really happy to have found something. So this is called the Gemini, and it's a really beautiful, like I said, an olive green kind of colour. It comes in the most beautiful little compact that I've ever seen in my life. It's got two figures on there in gold. Oh, it's so, so beautiful. But it does come out of this, like if you just kind of hit it enough times on the back, the magnet's quite strong, so you have to really kind of keep tapping it. But it does pop out of here and you can put it in a magnetic eyeshadow palette, which I really, really love. Apparently you can do that with a lot of the Colourpop eyeshadow palettes, but I've never bought one of their pre-built eyeshadow palettes, so I can't really confirm that. Apparently it's really easy to get the shades out. If you have any of the pre-made palettes, please let me know in the comments below if you've managed to get the shades out and put them in an empty palette, because that just seems really cool and I would love to try that. So that was the main stuff that I wanted to buy on Colourpop. There wasn't like a huge amount of other stuff I needed apart from their eyeshadow, but a few things did catch my eye. So I really wanted to try this mascara. I got a coloured mascara from them last time. It was like a light violet colour, but I saw that they'd released this much deeper wine shade as part of their Bye Bye Birdie collection, and it was just calling out to me. So this is in the shade Plum and Get It. It's a really, really beautiful colour. So I bought it to use over my usual mascara just to give it a little bit of a hint of colour and a bit more volume. So when I first got this, I opened the box and I tried to apply it, and I swear this was the driest mascara I've ever tried in my life. Like, it was so dry that it didn't even really apply to my eyelashes. It was just really clumpy and I could not get it to work. And I did wonder if maybe they hadn't like closed the lid properly in the factory and it just dried out. I wasn't really sure. So a few hours ago I put in a little bit of castor oil and I've let it settle, and then I tried to apply it after I did that. I'm wearing it today and I did manage to apply it a bit better when I put the castor oil in, but it's still a little bit on the clumpy side and on the dry side. I think I'm going to put in a little bit more castor oil and then see how I get on, because right now the formula isn't really my favourite. I think it's made my eyelashes look quite clumpy and quite spidery. And then for some reason I really wanted to try one of their base products, just because I haven't ever tried a Colourpop base product before. They've got some others. One of them sounded like it would be far too matte for me, and the other one was a tinted moisturiser. Tinted moisturisers are not my jam. So I picked up this foundation stick. I usually really love foundation sticks, and this one looked like it came in a really good shade range, so I was quite optimistic to try it out. So I'm actually wearing this right now and filming a first impressions review today. So my next video, I will be doing a dedicated review for this and just having a bit more of a chat about it. I wanted to get a review up quite quickly because at the end of the year I want to do a video talking about all the foundations I've reviewed in 2019 and just talking about them a little bit more, you know, if my feelings have changed since I reviewed any of them. So yeah, I wanted to get this on my face as quickly as possible. And then the final thing I picked up was this little lip crayon set here. It's their Just a Tint lip crayons, and I got the bundle called Dragon My Heart Around, which I just think is the cutest name. The shades looked really pretty. So in this bundle you get two colours. You get the Strand, which I'm wearing right now. It's a really nice light nude pink colour, and you also get another colour called Treasure Island, which looks like a really beautiful plum shade. I think I'll really like wearing that a bit more just on evenings out when I want a bolder look, or I could even mix them both together. I think that would look really nice as well. But yeah, they're both really pretty colours. I love cool toned lip options, especially at this time of year, and lip crayons are one of my favourite formulas because they're just so easy to throw on and they're typically quite long lasting as well. I've actually got another one of these from Colourpop. I think it's called Gimme Small. It's one of their more nude options, but I wanted to get some more cool toned colours for the autumn winter season. And yeah, they look really nice. They feel really nice on the lips as well, and they smell so good. And that is everything. That's everything that I picked up from Colourpop. I did say it was a smaller haul than my last one, but I feel like I got everything I need. Apart from the mascara, so far I feel quite happy with everything I've picked up. The mascara I probably won't be repurchasing just because it is so dry and such a bitch to use. I could just have a dud one, but like I don't really feel the overwhelming urge to reorder it to find out, you know what I mean? I forgot to mention this in my last Colourpop haul. A few people were asking me how I order from them because I live in the UK. So basically you just add all your items to the cart like normal, but when you go to checkout they'll add your VAT on top of that. So they'll add 20% on top of everything in the cart, and because they do that at checkout, the parcel doesn't get stopped at customs, so it just comes straight to you, which is great. They do free international shipping if you spend more than $50. Otherwise, I think it's $10. But yeah, it's quite easy to order from Colourpop for me personally, just because, like I said, they don't get stopped at customs. The only problem I normally have with them is that it takes them a really long time to actually send out my package in the first place. But that's nothing to do with the shipping, it's just them processing it. But yeah, I think that's everything. If you do have any questions, obviously just leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. And if you have any favourite Colourpop products that you don't think I've tried yet, again, leave them down below. I'd love to know what you recommend. If you feel like validating my existence, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys at my next video, which will be my foundation review. Till then, take care, bye! And of course, now that I've finished filming my video, she's turned her music down. Great.